Hey guys, how are we all doing today? So unfortunately we've got a follow-up story from yesterday where it's kind of connected. It's the Smash Bros scene again. Now I want to apologize to the people that come into my channel regularly. I know a lot of you are from Tekken and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, but I do think these topics are important to speak about. Now there are going to be timestamps or one timestamp in the description below. So if you come to the channel regularly, this part is not going to be for you. This is going to be for people on Twitter and people that have left some comments in my YouTube videos. I'm going to address them all at once. So if you want to skip all of that and get to the meat and potatoes of this video regarding this individual that we're going to be talking about, then jump right ahead. This is going to be a big waste of your time. This is for these other people. There's a couple of things that I want to address. And originally when I saw some of the comments, I was like, are these people being for real? Why do I need to even spell this out to somebody? But then I thought to myself, do you know what? Maybe I'm reading it in an angry voice. Maybe I'm reading it in Twitter voice, and they're asking genuine questions and they're confused about who I am, what I'm doing, and what this channel's about. So I got some comments saying, why are you always talking about the Smash Bros scene? Why are you talking about Mewtwo King? Why do you talk to technicals? Why did technicals come on your show? Why do Smash Bros players even talk to you, Mike? You're not a Smash player. That's obviously not entirely true. Now, I'm not a part of the Smash scene. I never was part of the Smash scene. I guess you could say I was loosely connected to it. I've played all the Smash Bros games. I started in Melee and played all the way up until Ultimate. Obviously, 64 was out when I was a kid, but I wasn't really too interested in it. And I've been playing Smash games ever since. My brother is one of the top UK Luigi players, and I've got friends over in the US who compete. Now, I'm not going to say who these people are because I know some people in the Smash scene don't like me and see me as a bit of a leech getting involved in their affairs. So I don't want them to face any fire because of me. But I have friends and family members who have been a part of the Smash scene and are still part of the Smash scene. So when I see bad things happening and I know I have a platform where people come to listen to these things, I feel like it is the adult thing to talk about them. A lot of people say to me, Mike, why don't you just play the games and stop talking about all this like useless stuff? And I don't think that this is a waste of time or useless. I actually think as an adult, it's more important to talk about the people and the communities rather than the games. I can play the game in my free time, like we all can. But I think if you're in a community or there's communities that are closely connected to you and there's bad things going on and you have a platform to say something, I feel like that's more of the adult thing to do. Now, I'm not shitting on people that just want to play the game. There's plenty of channels that just focus on gameplay, and that doesn't make them a coward. It doesn't mean that they are being dismissive of problems. It's just what their channel is about. A prime example of this is like one of the best content creators on earth and our biggest content creator in the fighting game scene, Maximilian. He doesn't really talk about the issues in the community, the really dark issues, and he doesn't have to. I'm sure he's aware of them. And I see some people saying sometimes, why doesn't bigger voices speak about these things? Because they don't have to. They don't want to. The same way people say to me, Mike, why don't you just shut up and play the games? I don't have to. I talk about the things that I find important. So this is something that I find important. Checking people that are doing bad things. And it's not to say I am the authority on that. Nobody gave me a badge. Nobody made me the authority on anything. It's that this is my channel, and on my channel, I'm going to do whatever I please. And this is what pleases me to do, like to call out things that I think are bad. So for the people that are coming to the channel saying, who made you the authority? Nobody did. But just like you might have a YouTube channel or you've got a Twitter page, you run it as you see fit. If you don't like what I'm saying, I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire. There are people that are subscribed to my channel that only come here for certain types of videos. They say to me, I don't like listening to the controversy, I'm here for your gaming takes. That's fine. I'm never going to take offense to that. I don't even ask people to subscribe because I know that my channel is a bit all over the place and maybe people just want to come and watch the channel and not really be subscribed or be part of the community. So that's why I only have like that one prompt that pops up on the screen, and you never hear me saying, guys, like, comment and subscribe. It's just not what I do because I know my channel doesn't really fall into those things. Another thing that I want to address is I've seen some Smash players saying, and this is kind of tied into the first point, that you're a leech, what are you doing over here? And that I shouldn't be speaking about these issues. Now, I find that very, very strange because if there were the same issues that were happening in the Tekken scene and I saw them and a Smash player said, yo, what is this disgusting stuff going on? My first response would be, hey, you're part of our community. Do you play the game? That would be such a weird thing to say. I don't need to be part of the Formula 1 community if we find out that in the garages something is going on that shouldn't be. We would just say, yo, why are you doing that? I don't need to watch the sport every single day to point out a bad thing. And that's never going to happen. People can continue saying that to as many people as they want. I've heard them say it to other content creators as well who are more involved with the scene, and they say it to me. Now, you can say it if you want. I'm not here to control people's speech, but I just need to let you know that is going to fall on deaf ears. There's never going to be a time where you're going to say to me, yo, do you even play the game? Well, I'm going to even entertain that beyond giving you this explanation. If I feel like there's something bad happening, it could happen in Arcana Hearts, Smash Bros, Under Night in Birth, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, or Dive Kick. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't need to play the game to point out when something is wrong. And the last point that I'm going to address before we move on to this, for those of you that are still here that haven't skipped to the main part of the video, a lot of people will say to me, do you even play fighting games, Mike? When do you play fighting games? We never see you playing them. We only ever see you yapping on Twitter or yapping on YouTube. Now, I'm not going to take the piss out of these people because, you know, people have busy lives. Maybe they just, you know, we live in a TikTok generation. It's scroll, scroll, scroll and keep it moving. I get it. I live in London. London's a very fast-paced city. So I understand. So just to make this very clear for the people that keep on saying that, when you come over to my YouTube channel, the video section is probably the first part that you see. And yes, on here, it's me just yapping away about all sorts of issues, whether they're with games or the community. I know that I talk a lot about the community because that is something that I find more interesting. I know some people call me a grifter or a leech. That's fine. That's their perspective. I'm not trying to convince those people. I'm not trying to be everyone's friend. But if you go to the video section of my page, you will see me talking about community issues. And it's not to say that I'm an angel. I have my flaws. I understand that. And if people call me out, I'm always willing to entertain the conversation. As long as they're not being like outright disrespectful towards me, then obviously I'm going to clap back. That's just the way it is. I don't feel like I need to talk to you with any level of respect if you're going to be rude. But if you call me out on something and want to talk to me about it, I always jump on live stream. I'm never afraid to have somebody on to challenge me. So that's always an option. But if you come to this part of the page, you'll see all of this. You'll see all these videos, me talking about stuff, me talking about people in the community, me talking about other streamers, me talking about maybe Corey Kenshin when his stuff was going on, talking about the main man. So I talk about a wide range of topics relating to people in gaming. But if you take 2 seconds and come over to the live tab, this is where you find all of the gameplay. Now there are podcasts in here, of course. There's loads of podcasts in here where I'm talking to people or I'm hosting a discussion. But if you go down and look at anything that says Shambolic Showdown on it, anything that's got like anime stuff on it, like JoJo's for example, that's all us playing the game. Now, just to give you an idea, these streams, these Shambolic Showdowns run for 4 to 5 hours every time I do them. And I do like 1 to 2 a week. So if I've done 55 episodes, actually there's more than that. There's some unnumbered episodes. There's ones that I didn't put numbers on. They're like Christmas specials or whatever. And some of them run for 10 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. And you're telling me that I don't play the game. Doesn't really make any sense. Now, there's no way I can't play, I can not be playing fighting games if I'm also highly ranked on a lot of the leaderboards on the fighting games. And I know I say this as a joke a lot to people because people will like ask me questions about it. I do say it as a joke, but the fact of the matter is that it is impossible for what you're saying about me to be true. If I was ranked number 1 on MKX, if I was ranked number 1 on Bleach Rebirth of Souls, if I was ranked number 1 on Soul Calibur 5, if I've got a Tekken God rank on Tekken 8, if I'm currently playing through Demon Slayer, if I'm currently playing, if I've gone back to Ultimate Ninja Storm, if I've got Sparking Zero gameplay on here, like all of it is there. And I understand some people really don't like me and they paint a narrative on Twitter, and that's fine. I don't delete people's comments. I don't shy away from it. I always challenge them. You know, usually they back down because we know they're lying. But that is for the people that maybe were genuinely confused. Like, yo, Mike, what do you do on YouTube other than yapping? I do giveaways. Like, for example, here we did a Bleach one and we did a Final Fantasy one where we played Rebirth of Souls and we gave loads of Final Fantasy codes out to members of the community. And I do that quite often. We also have this really like funny stream, which I can't do anymore because I have a girlfriend now and they'll probably be inappropriate, where we play dating simulators and we have a laugh about them. Now, yes, I've seen the comments. That's gooner shit, Michael. 100%, but it's funny and we have a good time of it and I don't regret it. So that is just to dispel some things before we get onto the main portion of the video. And again, I'm not here to cause chaos in the scene. I'm really not. I'm here to try and build bridges. But if people are doing bad things, I'm always going to speak about them, guys. You can leave as many comments as you like where it's like, shut the F up, Mike, calling me a retard, telling me to go away. It's not gonna happen. If I want to speak about something, I am going to speak about it. You can leave your comments. I never delete them because I understand comments help the videos get out there and I want as many people to see them as possible. So feel free to do it, but it's not gonna stop, okay? That's just the way it is. Now then, let's get on to the actual portion of the video that we should be talking about. We have this individual here called Connie Kins. Now, Connie Kins is apparently a Smash Bros. Ultimate Weekly tournament organizer, and he's in California, Southern California, and he is being accused of being that is into lolly and furry stuff. Now, I'm not too well versed in all of that stuff. I know what lolly stuff is because I've had arguments with people about it before, about like body types versus age. I find it odd, but you know, to each their own. I can't really like make a case for the police against somebody that likes lolly stuff, but oftentimes you see that it leads down a road that isn't good. And if you're someone that's just into that but you haven't done anything, then don't take personal offense to it. You'd only really take personal offense if you were up to no good. So anyway, this thread begins when he gave a $10 super chat to DSP. His name would lead to his Discord where heinous things were found. And so here's the super chat to DSP. It says, "Hey DSP, my friends and I have been lurkers for years. Just wanted to say that we love the content and we quote the streams/clips a lot. Your streams came up at work yesterday. Keep it up, bro. Yeehaw." So nothing to go off there. This person, Shoni, is the one that is putting forward all of this information. So then it says in his Discord, he says he wants drawn of him and Sir Jaden. In the next message, which is dated months after the previous message, Sir Jaden states that they are a Connie wanted with Sir Jaden when they were a people draw me and Jordan. Yeah, the poison isn't out of our system yet, but never of me and my other friends. Why is this? Because we don't make ourselves as known as you and Jordan used to. Shake my head, I want of us. So Jaden says, that's mean. It's only because I'm a or something else. That particular screenshot is obviously, you know, it's been cut out. We can't see everything that's going on there. I wish the person that had done this had actually had the full screenshot, because you could argue it's been clipped and there was some sort of stupid joke going on. Now, I did see some people saying that it's just friends joking amongst each other, but people are also saying that this Sir Jaden character is a minor. If this person is a then I don't even know why you're talking about them. Someone also talking to them. Someone also said that they're only a year apart, 18 to 17. And I understand what they're trying to get at there. I understand what they're trying to say, but it's not acceptable, and it's not going to be acceptable in the eyes of the law. I've told people this 100 times, and I'll keep on saying it. And it's not to tell people to go do things in the shadows, but it's really to talk some common sense. Me and my friends make crazy jokes all the time. Nothing like this. This is weird and creepy. But crazy jokes, you know, people get very flagrant with their language, but you don't do it on Discord, because Discord is not private, guys. Even if you have a private server, that stuff is so easy to leak. If it's not in your WhatsApp messages or one of those private messaging things on your phones, why are you saying this stuff out loud? Like, do you not understand the ramifications? And this happens constantly. Discord is not private. So for the people that were in this post saying this is just a joke between friends taken out of context, maybe, even though it looks extremely sus, maybe, but it's not good enough. Like, Discord is not private. You need to privatize things if you're gonna have racy jokes, of which, just to be clear, I don't think this is a joke. Saying that you want drawn of you and your mate, of which is apparently underage. I don't know where the humor is in that, but to each their own. In these pictures, Coney states that he is okay with Lolly. He also says remember kids, which suggests he is grooming minors and tries to paint Lolly as okay. In the next picture, Connie is fiending and asking for furry. This is going on in his Discord with minors. Lollies are alright. They're underage. Parguna, I don't know what that sounds like, a spell or something. Remember kids, it's a body type, not an age thing. And lol, I want monkey game furry now, or at least him drawn in this art style. I want monkey game furry. Okay, I guess monkey game is a person. Okay, but let's just back up for a second because there's a lot of madness going on here. This? No. You know, there was, I don't know if you guys ever saw on TLC, I can't put the clip up because TLC just flags everything, but there's this girl, and I feel bad for her. She's a grown woman, but she never aged physically. She looks like a 10-year-old girl, but she's actually like in her 20s or 30s, but she looks 10 years old. And she has a boyfriend who, you know, it looks my age or older. Now, legally, you can't call him names, but you would look at that situation and go, she looks like a 10-year-old. Now, it sucks for her because she can't actually date a 10-year-old, or legally she would be a pedo. So she's in a predicament. I understand her situation, but she's not the problem in that. The problem is the guy that's dating her. Does she deserve to be loved? Of course. Having that affliction and that illness sucks. I don't know what to say, really. I don't have a solution to that. But you do look at the guy who is dating her and be like, but she looks 10. And so with this lolly thing and how it relates to that is that they always say it's a body type thing, not an age thing. The lolly characters that I always see, they're like 1,000 years old. but they're in the body of like a 10-year-old or something, and people are like, they find that attractive. Like I remember that character in Dragon Ball Daima, I can't remember her name, the little girl that was following Goku and them lot around that could fix things. People were on Twitter going mad over her, and I was like, that's a child. And they were saying to me, well, it's not a child though, is it? She's like super old or something. And I was like, yeah, but guys, come on, what are we, you know what, even having to explain this is mind-numbing to me. But yeah, I personally, if you're into that thing, I can't mess with you. You're not legally doing anything wrong, but morally, I just can't. Like, I would just look at you sideways and be like, yo, that's all mad. Those characters don't look like women. Like, don't get Soifun mixed up with whatever the character's called in Dragon Ball Daima. Those ain't the same things. Soifun is a petite woman, yeah, if we're talking anime terms. That girl in Dragon Ball Daima is a little girl. So I can't get on board with people like this. It's creepy to me. A search of his Steam ID shows his profile along with this name. Connor Crockett. On his past alias appears his name at BronyCon24. On this next picture shows him in a group of Reddit bronies. Now, as far as I'm aware, a brony is a grown man that likes My Little Pony. Let me just fact check that real quick. A man who is a fan of My Little Pony, of the My Little Pony television program and range of toys. Dare I click on the images? Better not on YouTube. Being a fan of My Little Pony is not a crime in itself, but again, it's one of those situations, and again, because you're on my YouTube channel, I'm just telling you how I feel. If I had a friend that was a fan of My Little Pony, like an actual fan of it, and they were going to brony conventions, I would say, go away. Like, stay over there. That I've seen an episode of My Little Pony, and it was that episode that everyone has seen because it's on YouTube. It's really like messed up. I feel like the episode where the character, I don't know what the characters' names are, but they were on LSD. And even though that episode is quite famous for being really fucked up to show people, I think anyway, it was a long time ago. Even just watching it in the parts where it was like being normal and down to earth, I was like, but this is clearly like aimed at little girls. How could a grown man like this? And then there being whole groups for it. I mean, it's not a crime to like it, but yeah, let's just move on. We see his LinkedIn profile with both his name and gamertag username. Then we see the weekly Smash Bros Ultimate event he runs called Soul Melter Smash. This can be seen directly on their website. Brothers definitely got a thing for horses. Strange. So, like, genuine question now. Do I even want to ask this question? I'm just doing this off rip. I haven't got any bullet points to go over. I'm just doing it off rip. So do bronies like horses then? Like, I feel stupid asking this question. Of course they do. I mean, he's always got horses in his profile pictures, but like, I mean real horses. Anyway, you can let me know in the comment section. Since all this came to light last night, he has locked down all his social media. He has locked down his X account along with his Discord. Why does he have a picture of him and a horse? A devout brony through and through. Yeah, so there's the picture of the horse. Another picture of the horse. Here's another picture of the lolly living furry freak who grooms minors in his Discord. I hope the $10 super chat to DSP was worth it. I hope the Smash Bros community can swiftly remove this dangerous person from running weeklies where he could harm minors. Disgusting. I mean, this is pretty insane. This is just a conversation between LTG and DSP. I don't know what DSP's obsession is with him, to be honest with you. But this is mad. Now, I got tagged in this. I wouldn't have seen this otherwise. I got tagged twice, I think, or someone sent it over to me in DMs. And I saw it and I said, what the hell? Like, what is this? Now, people got very upset when they saw my name tagged. Just to touch on this real quick, I got tagged in it, and this guy here said, please don't tag this leech, bro. This dude's gonna make a sloppy ass 20-minute video with zero research like he always does. I've seen this guy's name around. He's not the biggest fan of Cody, which, you know, fair enough. He's blocked me now, you know, as they do when they can't argue their points, as if I'm gonna bother you or something. I did see, oh yeah, so he reposted it here. So, okay, he's saying that I don't do my research, even though I don't really think I need to do much research into people, you know, misbehaving in front of children, but whatever. Even though everything is like documented in the videos, he's reposted it. So I guess me talking about it and just going over what we're seeing is fine because you've reposted it. So I don't want to hear a kip out of you. Now, I said thanks for tagging me, but I was really talking to him. But I commented under here just so that he could see it, and he responded with, "I didn't tag you, dumb nig." I mean, was that necessary? Was that really necessary? And this guy said, "Please go back to Reddit, bro." Imagine me having a Reddit profile. Calling Priscilla trans has to be the most obvious I'm a tourist take you could have made out of yourself. Now, I spoke to Priscilla in private. Priscilla, actually, I wanted to bring up her tweets because she's the one that was doing the calling out of Supernova. That's where I got my posts from. I spoke to Priscilla in DM. She's going to be on the podcast to talk about what it's like being a woman from the Smash Bros community. She's going to go over as much information as she can for about 3 hours, I'd say, because I know her time is limited. Now, the reason that I called Priscilla trans is because Priscilla was not correcting people when they were calling her trans, and there's a lot of trans people in the Smash community, so I just said, okay, well, I guess this person's trans. I didn't know Priscilla before this. We follow each other. That's probably because our views are somewhat aligned. But I apologized to Priscilla. I said, I'm sorry, my bad. I just read your post. And she said to me, yeah, people say it all the time and I just don't correct them. And I said, fair enough. You know, so, I mean, you can call me a tourist for that, for making a mistake, reading it off of someone's profile. Nitpicking on that, kind of ridiculous when there's a bigger problem at hand. I guess you agree with Priscilla's takes as well, because I know some of you follow her, but me making a mistake on that is the big story for you guys. So they're more interested in who's saying it rather than what is happening. And I understand wanting to protect your community, but when your community is harboring so many dangerous people, why do you care if somebody from Tekken or Street Fighter is talking about it? Isn't the goal here to look out for each other a bit more? I mean, we're all part of a community, or I have members of my family in the community or friends. Isn't the goal here as adults to look out for each other? But you're more concerned about who's in the club rather than who's outside of it. But as you can see here, loads of people have blocked Priscilla because she called them out. And she's basically collecting blocks like Pokemon badges. Now, I always find this whole blocking thing weird. I mean, I've never gone out of my way to harass anybody. I mean, there's no need to block me, other than maybe you don't want to see my posts. That's completely fine. But people block me as if I'm going to bother them. This other guy, this person that's obsessed with Cody, blocked me. I don't know what it is. Anyway, getting back to the issue at hand here. This is just all mad to me. This is so mad. And obviously the biggest issue here is the fact that he was talking with a Now, I don't know what Smash is going to do about this. I don't know what the Smash scene is going to do about this, or Nintendo. But just touching on Nintendo very quickly. Apparently, they have revoked their license from Supernova. Apparently, allegedly. I read this online today. I don't know how true it is. But there was rumors going around that they have taken their license back. I don't know how true it is, because I've never seen Nintendo step in to do anything about any of these people. But maybe they're finally having enough of all of this. And if you're in the Smash Bros scene and you keep on seeing this about your scene, I don't want you to feel personally attacked like you've done something wrong, because you probably haven't. You probably have done nothing wrong, and you're just part of a scene that houses a lot of degenerates. Don't take personal offense when people call this out. People call out these things for a wide range of reasons. Like I said, the reason that I call it out is because I have family that have been in the Smash scene, and I have friends in the Smash scene, and I don't want them to be in an environment where there's degenerates everywhere. And I'm sure you, as a normal sane person that plays Smash, probably feels the same. I don't need to be in your club to tell you that. Just like if there were pedos and weirdos walking around the Tekken community and you pointed out, I wouldn't go, hey, have you ever done an electric before? Like, you would look at me and be like, are you stupid, bro? Like, what are you talking about here? Does that mean that every single piece of information that I cover I'm going to be accurate on? No, everybody makes mistakes. All of you do. We're all human beings. But the sane ones will look at the situation and go, okay, he made a mistake. And people do correct me. They correct me in the comment section. But the overarching message was received. And you know, people say it to me, okay, slight correction here, Mike, but good video. Or maybe you don't like the video and we want to talk about it. But some of you get so bent out of shape that it almost feels like a self-report. I just wanted to show you this again, guys, because this is yet another situation. And I feel like it needs to be spoken about more by more adults. Just putting your head in the sand and playing the game is no good. You can call me grifter, you can call me leech, you can call me whatever name you want, but at the end of the day, these are people doing bad things. So all of the name calling is not going to deter me from talking about it. If you have a problem about it, my DMs are open. If you have a problem about it, you can jump on my live streams and you can tell all of us what your issue is. But as far as I'm concerned, stuff like this needs to be called out. Talking to a man about having a porn drawn of you is like, why would that even come out of your mouth? Anyways, guys, that's the video for today. We're gonna have Priscilla on the podcast on Monday, and she'll be going over, you know, what it's like to be a woman in the Smash Bros scene. So look forward to that. I'll see you guys maybe on Monday, because I'm gonna be away now after this for the weekend. All of you take care of yourselves. Don't take personal offense because I'm calling out your scene. It's not about you, it's about the bad people in it. I'm sure you want your scene to flourish, but right now it's drowning because of all of this shit. So I'll see you guys very soon. Take care and peace.
So